Hi, everybody, whoever's on the stream. It's Cameron once again on a Monday playing some more Zelda. Tom has joined me once again. How's it going,
I
Tom?
have. It is going. It is good.
Is it gone
Pretty
yet?
good. Is it gone yet?
It's going, it's going. Has it gone yet?
Uh, yeah, I'd say so. In the sense that FC Cincinnati won the Supporter Shield,
Woo
baby. Let's
woo!
go.
Congratulations to FC Cincinnati. And you were at the game, right?
So I wasn't not at the one, not the Saturdays was against Toronto. That was a away game. But I was gonna get into this later. But I did meet the team when they got back to their private airfield, part of CVG, and so was the rest of the Pride and a bunch of other fan groups. So we got to celebrate with the players a little bit before everyone went home at like 3 in the morning. But
That's
it was good.
awesome.
Yeah, very, very, very good. Very fulfilling weekend for soccer fans.
You shared a little snippet of a video on social media, I think. It looked like a lot of fun, a lot of good energy.
Yeah, it was very fun. It was very fun to like be able to actually interact with the players in a manner that's not like parasocial, but was celebrating the fact that they worked as hard as they did to get where they did.
Yeah.
And it was cool. It was like well facilitated. It was interesting. I guess they were expecting like people to like be at the airfield, so the one of the like managers I guess was giving us like the lowdown. Like expect them to be they're tired. Some of them are with their kids. They're gonna want to probably get out of here pretty quick. And then immediately, as soon as they get off the bus, one of our defenders, Nick Hagland, just rushes the crowd and embraces a bunch of them at once. And so it was the complete opposite of what we were expecting. It was a good time though. It was a good reason to celebrate them having the best record in the league
It's
for
nice to
the
have
23 season.
one good Cincinnati team right now because goddamn are the Bengals fucking blowing it.
Yeah.
After looking so good 2 years ago,
Mm,
I just don't know what's happening, but it's unfortunate. But yeah,
yeah.
big props to FC Cincinnati. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Um,
it's been a lot of fun. I think a lot of that pent up energy of not having a winning team, that still carries over into the soccer fans. For as good as we've been the past couple of years,
yeah.
you could tell that some of those people were also Bengals and Reds fans, and they were like, "We need something, please."
Oh, absolutely. And I guess another thing to celebrate. Let me switch over my camera real quick. I've got it pre-prepared this time. We have hit the halfway goal of our fundraiser.
We
So
did.
once again, reminding everyone, Arbitrary Hero is live streaming on October 14th with HasLedgeNet. We're going to be live streaming on both of our Twitch and YouTube channels, so 4 places total. We're going to be playing some Nintendo Switch Online games. We are also going to be raising money for One Up on Cancer. It's an awesome charity helping people with the cost of care associated with cancer diagnoses. Ignore the torn up Transformers box in the background. But we have raised $253 so far. Our initial goal was 100. We've bumped it up to 500. And just as a reminder, there is a QR code up top. There is a Tiltify link in the YouTube video description. It's all over our social media. Right now, the current prize is a Nova Prime. Every dollar you donate, it can be an entry into the raffle for a Transformers Generations Legacy Evolution Nova Prime. Awesome leader class figure. The review I did of it came out last weekend or last week, and it is pretty dang fun. But if we do hit our $500 goal, then we get a Mondo Humongo prize in the Transformers Generations Legacy Evolution. Can I talk into the mic while having this on screen? Let's see. Transformers Generations Legacy Evolution Stunticon Menasor box set, which I finally
That's the
did.
name.
I eBayed my Wild Rider. I got this figure finally. So I'm in the process of recording my review for these, the original release of these 5 figures. But the box set obviously has some premium deco and hopefully has fixed some of the minor QC issues with my set. I've heard good things about it. So that is, this only goes in the prize pool if we hit $500. So we are more than halfway there, but we still need to hit $500 before October 14th at like 9 p.m. when we're going to announce the winner. So you got some time, but keep those donations coming. Thanks again, everyone who has already donated. I think even though it's been a quiet week for us, as last week we were kind of busy with other life stuff, you guys have been keeping the money pouring in, which we always appreciate. All right, big webcam off. Wah! So, yeah, let's do a little weekly catch-up stuff and all that stuff. While what I am doing, I decided, like, my side quest list is getting a little long. I just want to spend today's session clearing out some of this stuff.
Not a bad idea. That's what I did last time I played too. Is just trying to get rid of all these side quests, or at least half of them.
Yeah, just churn through what you can. Ooh, moon. So Tom, FC Cincinnati won. Which cup is the Supporters Cup?
So it wasn't a cup. It's a. So I actually just learned about what the Supporter Shield is
Supporter
last
Shield.
week. I guess it's a. I guess a lot of the top leagues in like Europe and across the world do a thing where whoever has the best record in the regular season gets like some sort of like award or trophy or like.
Some of the leagues don't even have playoffs. So
right, that's what's different about MLS is we do still have playoffs, but most leagues don't, I guess. But yeah, so it's like an actual like a trophy, a literal. Well, they call it the shield, but it's more of just like a big medallion. But it's like whoever has the best record in like the regular season gets this trophy, and that is the first time I think we ever won it. We're also only one of 5 teams in the MLS who have ever won the Shield in their first 5 seasons as a team.
Yeah,
which is pretty neat. It's a pretty big deal.
And I'm pretty sure the other 4 teams were all founding teams. So
right.
Oh, what's this sign say? But yeah, aside from that, the things I want to talk about, the new Laurelin Village is closed due to pirate invasion. Love it.
Yeah.
What a great road sign. Kings Island is closed due to Godzilla strike.
Well, what's funny is like, does that mean one of the like non-pirate citizens snuck out to put that up there?
I think that's exactly what it means. It does have someone's signature on here.
Yeah.
Roselle. So it's the dude up in that like tent.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's really funny. Yeah, Castlevania Nocturne came out. Hannah and I have watched the first 6 episodes of it. We still got to finish the last 2, but I am really loving it. And it has reminded me, and this is not to shit on the people who hang out on our Discord, but I'm kind of shitting on you a little bit here. How much I hate fandoms and how much I hate like the online social media rage machine. I think Castlevania Nocturne is great. I haven't seen the last 2 episodes, but so far it's been great. And god damn it if Reddit's Castlevania subreddit has not devolved into the biggest shit show of white supremacy and fucking like boomer ass takes. And I'm like, you motherfuckers were starving. There's no new Castlevania to be had, guys. And this came out and it's entertaining and it's fun and everyone's talking about one particular character and how they don't like her. And it's like they try and come up with reasons, but you can absolutely tell it's because she's black. And it's like, fucking boo. Boo on you. You should feel ashamed.
This is Annette, right? It's about Annette.
Yeah, it's about Annette.
It's funny to me because I know, like, I haven't played through a lot of the Rondo, the game that Richter comes from, but I know that, like, there's another character besides Maria that's, like, important to him. When I looked up this character, I did not recognize this person at all. I was like, oh, that doesn't really... I don't understand why that's a problem. This doesn't seem like a big deal.
Yeah, it's not. And I mean, like, I played Rondo. I played Dracula X. She has no fucking characterization in the games. Anyone who's saying they're mad because they changed how she's characterized, I'm calling you out as a fucking liar. You're lying. You're not being honest. She like this, like I really, really like what they did. At first, like, I hadn't gotten hyped at all. I was like, oh, it's coming out soon, and I wasn't paying attention to like what the like storyline was going to be, and it's definitely different. It's not like an accurate adaptation of the game, but it shouldn't be. It would be a disservice to the potential for storytelling for them to try and one-for-one adapt a fucking Castlevania video game.
Yeah.
They're awesome games. I'm a huge fan. I play them. But I am not there for, like, complex storytelling. And that is what I want from, like, books and TV shows and things like that. Yeah, I think, like, setting this during the French Revolution is awesome. It's, like, it's a little heavy-handed, sure, totally. But,
Yeah.
like, it's fucking Castlevania. It's, like... I think anime gets away with, like, being more heavy-handed than, like, other media. And the idea of, like, okay, let's have the vampires as a metaphorical stand-in for, like, the capitalist class is awesome. I love it. Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
My health
I'm
is
biased,
low.
but also a big fan of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It's funny because like I can see some like critique or analysis about the setting being like during the French Revolution, which like that's fair. I didn't mind it because I like it. I think it works really well. And like yeah, it's heavy-handed. Like some of the lines, even in this show, there are some like one-liners that they're not as cool as they think they are. But like comparing that to like the dialogue from like Symphony of the Night, like Castlevania's never had good lines. The fact that we have a good anime means like it could be not as good as other show X or whatever, but like compared to Castlevania as it exists in the games, like it's the so bad it's good kind of stuff. But now we're getting stuff that's actually good.
100%. It's like this is the show that did What Is a Man?
Yeah.
Or this is
exactly.
it's the game franchise that did What Is a Man? Like, the bar to me is not high. Although I'd say in general, I think the show is pretty great. It's definitely not perfect, but I wasn't expecting it to be, and
Right.
I think. But yeah, I really like Annette. I like Maria and Tara's story. I really like what they're doing with the priest. I also saw and I was so confused by this on Reddit. A bunch of fucking boomer ass takes about how disrespectful the show is to the church. And I'm like,
That's the point of the game.
have you
That's
played
all it's teaching
Castlevania?
you.
Yeah. Have you played Castlevania? It's not like fucking Father Craig is not out there going home at night after a sermon and being like, I want to play some Castlevania.
Yeah.
It's got demon titties and, fucking vampires and I don't know. It's just the most asinine stuff on
Right.
Reddit. And it's so strange to me because I feel like it's outside the fandom outrage. I think there's an industry that's been propped up that's is new media coming out? Let's find out something that we can call woke about it, and if we make videos and podcasts, we will make money because people will be it's essentially outrage clickbait. And it feels like that's what happened here because none of this shit was here before the show came out, and then all of a sudden the subreddit turned into a fucking cesspool. I've been baffled.
I think it's there are probably people who are on there causing some of those arguments that probably don't even really care about the show. I think it's just the
100%.
sensationalism, and there are people that do that, and there probably are hardcore fans that do that kind of thing. I imagine Metroid probably has similar stuff whenever they get a drip of anything. It seems to be the stuff that that has any sort of fandom or even just a cult classic. Once it gets some other medium, or it gets some new release of any kind of medium, for the first time in a while, it just draws all the worst people out to
All the shitheads.
to hate. Yeah, well, it's kind of a lot of the casual a lot of casual people that play not casual people, but the casual criticism of people that play games. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but there's a lot of really harsh people out there. They're just never happy with anything, and so they kind of just yeah, I got really excited for it, but why I'm really excited is because it gives me something to complain about, because I want to draw
100%.
attention. And it's not anything against critique or analysis. There's
But
occasional
that's not,
monkey video that I'm yeah, I don't agree with it. That's That's fine.
There's a ton of value, I think, in critique and criticism, but I don't think that's what this is.
No, I feel like those people think that's what it is, and it's an opinion, sure, but it is also one where it's just rooted in so much either incorrect information or clearly like what you're saying is not what you actually have a problem with, that it rings totally false.
Yeah.
Whenever you see people do this kind of shit. And the Annette stuff is also funny to me because it's like how most, game adaptations to shows or movies, people always complain, it's like, they always complain about they didn't like fit in X character, or they didn't, talk about this one thing. And you figure after like 20 plus decades of books and things that aren't visual medium getting those kinds of adaptations, that people understand they're gonna make creative changes and they're gonna not be able to fit everything in due to time.
Yeah.
And like that happened with the first Castlevania series. Like the character Grant isn't in it at all. I also don't really remember much about him, so I don't think he's important, but like this isn't anything new. Like stuff is gonna change, and I feel like the stuff they did change is pretty minor compared to how much they actually kept like true to the characters themselves, or at least Netflix's or whatever studio does this, their version of their type of character, I think.
Yeah, I view an adaptation as like you are trying to keep true to the ideas and themes and tones, but like I am generally for loose adaptations. I just require them to be good, and this one's a good one.
Yeah.
So yeah, if anyone's been curious about Castlevania, I think ignore the internet rage machine and check it out. I've enjoyed it tremendously.
Yes. It is very good. I watched all of it, so I'm 2 episodes further, I guess, all the way caught up. I didn't realize it was going to be a season thing. I thought it was just going to be a one and done.
No, I'm excited. I mean, the first one was the same way. I feel like there's oh, interesting. What's going on here? It feels like maybe nothing's going on here. Maybe this is all a lie.
It might be something in the water that you can pull out.
Yeah. Let's use some of these powers.
I watched all of it. I loved it. I thought it was really good. Definitely, yeah, not perfect, and like there's some not like discrepancies, but there's some stuff that I'm like, okay, that's fine. But again, because it is like an adaptation of something that doesn't have a lot of material to work with in the first place, like I thought it did a really good job.
Yeah, there's stuff I'm definitely curious about. Maybe it gets answered by the end of this season. Maybe it goes till next season. The way they do night creatures is slightly different, but I feel like it at least tonally it feels like a writer setting up a mystery to be solved rather than just like they change the rules.
Yeah. I think generally it's also kind of hard because Castlevania is like known for like its treasure trove of different enemy types. Like almost every game has like a bestiary that you can like look through, and a lot of sprites get reused. So I guess the night creatures for both shows in general, that was kind of their way of saying like there's lots of cool enemies, but they're all kind of different. They're all like made, or they all like exist in this mythological world for different reasons. So I guess we'll just sort of group them together.
Yeah. I didn't love the design of the big bad that they're like hinting at, but I'm holding out judgment until I see her in action. So far, all she did was ride through town. I love her underling. Her underling is awesome. I really like Olrox. Olrox seems really interesting.
They did Olrox. It's funny because I've only ever seen Olrox as a boss in, I guess it's not spoilers really for Symphony of the Night. The game's been out for a while, but he's a boss in Symphony of the Night. And he, like, at that point is basically just like a bald, purple, Megamind looking motherfucker.
Yeah.
Who has like a special form and stuff. And I was like, oh, that's him? That's awesome. And even as like a character, like by himself, I thought was really good. I really like Olrox.
Yeah, I'm curious to... can I not? Okay, I can't just climb up. I'm curious to see what happens with him. I don't love his OG design from Castlevania.
No, it's... Yeah.
So I'll be interested to see if he ends up like something happens to him that he turns out like that, or if they're just like this is just a new design, which I'd be fine with. I'm like he's playing things really close to the chest, so I'm really curious as to like it's got me like wondering what's going. It's the same as like the original, where the original show like I was like, okay, well, what's Camilla doing? What's like what are all these machinations? And I thought overall the first show I think ended things in for me a very satisfying way. Um, so I'm excited to see what happens with the new one.
Yeah, I like it a lot so far. I think it did a really good job. Obviously, all the like references and homages to things I thought were really good. I like in the very first episode they don't say the name of the game, but they show like imagery that clearly is supposed to be Rondo of Blood.
Yes.
In that Richter's mom has blood pooling around her corpse and it's a circle, and I was like, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
The fighting has been my favorite parts about the show. Not just that it's Castlevania, but it's also animated super well, which is what it makes it feel like that's what the fights in the games are supposed to feel like. And
Yes.
it's fast paced enough that it actually does kind of like it works. Like I feel like it kind of makes that stuff seem more like extrapolated upon, and it's interesting fighting. It's not just
And
one person has the upper hand for a few minutes and the other person has the other upper hand. It's very like it's like in between. It's a lot more of a struggle.
definitely weaker moments of animation, but I feel like
Yeah.
they've budgeted things appropriately. I don't even know why I did that. I'm just going to climb up here and glide across. They budgeted things appropriately so that the unimportant moments look a little cheaper and the action scenes look awesome.
Yeah, I noticed. I didn't realize this until I was watching some recaps of the first series. But I guess they switched to this like 2.5D ish animation, and that like the first two. I want to say that at least the first two seasons of the first series were almost entirely like just like 2-dimensional. There's almost like a kind of 3D effect. I don't think it's bad by any means. I just noticed it a lot more. It's a little bit more pronounced in this one.
There was the action the fight scene, I guess spoilers for Castlevania Nocturne, the fight scene in the manor, where I don't know why I'm doing that.
And like in the first few episodes, or
yeah, when they go spy and then they get jumped. I don't want to say more than that right now.
right.
But that had like this revolving view of like the background was very 3D while the animation was revolving in 2D. It was really fun.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it was good. I think that they obviously have to have some sort of creative takes on things, like we were talking about earlier, and I think doing that with the animation is also interesting. I think that they take the right size swings in the right places, and even when it doesn't like pay off, if it hasn't, I don't have any like specific instances, but I feel like they do a really good job of that, of keeping the overall tone, the thing that they want to, the story they want to tell, and then when they try to change things up, it's in typically pretty small pockets, and it typically works out pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah, fight scenes are great, imagery is great. The music, there's probably some songs, I don't know a lot of the music from Rondo, but there was at least one track that I recognized. They played Divine Bloodlines at one point, which was dope. I love the Castlevania music, so hearing that in the show is one of my favorite things. Sub-weapons, got to see I mean, it's literally just knives and axes and things, but man, that's the kind of fandom-y shit that I like, but I'm also not very critical of it. They do it, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
What else? There was tons of good stuff in there.
I am really interested in seeing. All right, I need to bulk up my hammer here, my club. What's good to stick on? Yeah, I probably got some good like bits. One. Ooh, 2. I'll keep the Lizzle's horn for now. Oh yeah, let's do one of these. There we go. Alright, y'all want to hang out there? You can. That's fine.
Yeah, good show.
Yes. Let's see. I guess so. So we started watching that on Friday. It was a lot of fun. We are also in the. We just finished Reservation Dogs.
Oh yeah, I finished Reservation Dogs as well. That was good. That was a pretty appropriate end.
Yeah, it was a very different kind of storytelling, I think, which I appreciated. It felt unique in its cultural sensibility. I liked the lack of emphasis on romance. Like, I'm pretty sure they nope, do it again, big boy, big boy, big boy, come on. Nope.
You got him.
All right, here we go. Oh, nope. I liked it felt like Bear and Jackie got together at the end, I think, but it was so like subdued that I didn't pick up on it at first. And like
Yeah.
I like that. I like that.
I like it too. I like that it wasn't a focal point. Like the romance between like teenagers was not like a big, like it's there, but it's more subtle. It's not.
Yes.
It's not like trying to be like a teen like sex comedy or something, which I thought was actually like really nice.
Yeah, it was appreciated. Something a little different. All right, we'll do this one. And then Saturday night we went to Montgomery Inn for dinner celebrating Hannah's dad's birthday.
Oh, nice.
I feel like I don't think I like Montgomery Inn very much anymore. I think it's like fine, but I mean, there was a good group of us, but I spent like $500 on dinner and the ribs were a little dry.
I've never been like a super big like ribs person. There was like a period in my life where like barbecue flavored anything I loved, and then I kind of got burnt out on it.
Yeah, I get it.
Like Montgomery Inn, like the sauce is very like the smell is like permanently etched into my brain.
Yes,
we had a lot of it growing up, and like it's fine. I'm not a big ribs person. The flavor of the sauce is definitely different, but it's not really like something that I personally enjoy. And like the building, the actual Montgomery Inn is like cool to go to, and that's pretty much like all the positive stuff I have to say about it. Like, it's fine. I know it's like it's not. I feel like people don't talk about it as much as they do like Chili and other Cincinnati stuff, but like yeah, it's fine. It's not like a place I ever think about like going to unless someone's having some sort of like celebration there.
And it was absolutely the case. I think like, I mean, we had a reservation obviously, but there were so many tables. Like the place was packed, and everyone was celebrating something.
Right. It's kind of, I feel like what it's for is like people go there because it's like it's not like a Jeff Ruby style place, but it is a big enough like community staple that people are like, oh, let's celebrate this thing here, and then so does everybody else.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of like
got a statue.
Yeah. The same energy as like, well, the same energy for motivation of going as like an Applebee's. They just don't have as much of the like birthday celebration stuff, at least I assume.
All right, now the hard part of this quest is I need to find like one motherfucker around here that's still alive.
Oh yeah, I see you got a little bit left on the bar.
Clearly, I've done the bulk of this, but villagers won't give me any credit until they're all dead.
Yeah. I would love if they try to justify that. You're like, I'm pretty sure I got them all, and they're like, I don't know. I think there's one left. I'm like,
where then?
You know
yeah. Where then?
Oh, I'm sorry. That makes it sound like you planned for this to happen. Thank you for the job security, but also, why would you do that to your own people?
Yeah, why would you do that? I'm trying to help, dick. No, I don't want the dragon bone. I want the fucking black bokoblin horn. Give me the horn. God damn it. Alright.
Can you pick it up with the...
Yeah. Get
The
the
what's
shit
it
out of
power?
here. Alright, now you. There we go. I hope if it's a red moon, it doesn't... A blood moon, it doesn't, like, fuck me on this. That'd be super annoying. If a blood... Like, you're doing a quest like this, looking for the last guy and a blood moon just resets everything.
Yeah, I've never had that happen during a Monster Forces one. I would be curious if that's a thing, though.
This is kind of an odd Monster Forces one, too, where... Like, there's no one else with me. Okay. Anyone sleeping in a smoldering building? No. Anyone up here? Doesn't look like it. I feel like this fence is saying, like, don't go past here. That's not part of the quest. I'm gonna blow up that pot out of curiosity.
Let's see. Not seeing anything about it yet.
Nope. Somewhere. I know Cheryl was on earlier. Cheryl, I did play a lot of TTRPG stuff this weekend. I finished out Tanner. So Tanner is DMing the adventures through Journeys Through the Radiant Citadel. It's his first time like DMing, and he's learning. He's coming across some of the pitfalls of DMing. Excuse me. Some of the pitfalls of DMing like modules, plan modules, where he's got kind of a group of experienced players. It's an open table thing, so there's kind of whoever signs up first gets to play. But the ones who've been like I've been playing all of them so far. The other players have also been more experienced. So Tanner has found that the combat suggested in the book is like pretty woefully inadequate for challenging us, and he does want to challenge us. Where is this last fucking guy? So we Journeys Through the Radiant Citadel is all about traveling to these different civilizations based on generally based on like human Earth populations and civilizations, but written non-European and written by the authors of them are people who are from these civilizations they are writing about. Maybe it's down here.
I didn't know that. I knew it was like multi-civilization set, but I didn't realize it was actually like created by those people.
Yeah, so we're doing we just finished out a chapter which was the civilization was Sensa, and it was shit. Nope, too far. Okay, too far. Sensa, which is based on the Mali Empire, so ancient African, thrived on its like rich gold mines, one of the richest nations in the world ever, just based on the sheer amount of gold they had and had access to, and we were helping some miners that got trapped in the mines, and we had to fight off some Arum Varaxes, and this is like we're level 7 characters, and I'm a paladin, so at level 7 for paladin, like I've got my bonus aura effect now. I think I'm kicking some pretty good ass. We've got a sorcerer fighter who's basically just a really annoying sticky tank. We've got just a bunch of characters, and Tanner was worried about what we were like, what we were doing. So he added a monster in, which is props. That's exactly what you do. Like, if you're not happy with the way things are going, if you're a DM and you're getting whomped, you need to go like homebrew. Like, either start tweaking monster abilities, which is fine. Like, you could tweak the Armvarok's abilities, or you could... Oh, it's a well. Maybe I gotta go down the well. Let's try that. Ah, here you are, motherfucker. Yes! I found you, you son of a bitch.
Timmy's trapped in the well.
Yeah, Timmy gonna die.
He's dead.
Oh, and it's with the flare rush too. Get it, get it, get it, get it, get it. Oh. Link's a rogue, right? Like, if he was a D&D character, he'd be a rogue because of he gets that sneak attack. He's like proficient in a ton of items, weapons. He's got like all sorts of little gadgets and stuff.
Dexterous.
High dexterity, or
did you cut out?
sorry, I had a cough.
Oh.
Roselle. We did it. We cleared the village out. Oh, hey, it's is Roselle the name of the guy, or Roselle's the old man? No, okay. Numar's the kid.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm a couple seconds behind, so.
Oh, right,
I
right.
see, yeah.
Hold on. Let me fix that. Cause
that's fine. I thought you were just doing it to save on resources.
no, I think I can do it just fine. Oh, what does this do? What does this do? Hold on. Let's
Famous
see what this
last
does.
word stream.
All right, what do you see?
A computer.
Oh.
I see your game stream.
Sweet. But that is apparently directly from my webcam or my Elgato. It gave me a different option than before.
Interesting.
Bolson, that's it. Bolson, hey Bolson.
Bolson.
Yeah. Remember the dance in Breath of the Wild?
I do. For
So
as
cute.
weird as like an offshoot joke as that was, that's surprisingly what stuck with my head the most.
Yeah. Not all the houses have been destroyed. Are you sure? I mean, great on you for having a positive attitude, but this place looks fucked up.
It's not looking great. Well, I guess they make those like boxy, like square or cube houses, right?
Yeah, Bolson will bang out some houses pretty quick.
Yeah. They got the
once
McMansion.
Once the villages were okay. So instead of, this is kind of fun. So Laurelin was a village in Breath of the Wild, and instead of doing like in Breath of the Wild, you got to build a new town, Terrytown. In this game, Terrytown's a thing, and we're gonna rebuild Laurelin. That's neat. I like it.
Oh, that is cool. I like the construction theme. Also fits really well in this game too. Hello, Finn and Poe.
Hi, Finn and Poe.
Oh, and Devil Joe. Devil Joe and Boom Headshot. Sorry, I forgot to read off people's names. Welcome.
They know. They're all regulars. I haven't seen anyone new. Why don't you bring your friends around? Yeah. Oh God, that's what. Yeah, that's your place. Okay. Yeah, I'll do it. I'll build a house for some fish. Wait, before you walk away too far. Hold up in your house. Yeah, I know. Oh yeah, he has the one house that's fine. Okay. Bolson. Alright, Bolson, what you got for me? State of the village, yep.
Oh, what?
Rather large amount of logs and Hylian rice. What happened?
NoClip has a documentary on the making of the Burger King games. If anyone remembers those at all.
Oh yeah.
I'm still watching this later.
The only one I remember is Sneak King. I know it was like a trio of them, but I don't remember.
Yeah, there was like a racing one, I think. Sneak King is the one that I was always curious to play. I was like, I wonder what that's even like.
15 logs.
Wild.
20 bundles of Hylian rice. Cool. Alright, well... How do I just bring a pile of logs to you? I don't, like...
Yeah, I don't actually know.
Logs? Oh, it has to be specific logs from other kinds of...
They probably want you to make a vehicle to carry them, if I had to guess. Because obviously you're not going to just, like... Well, I guess some people probably did Ultra Hand from, like, across the map, but...
Okay, yeah, I can just go to Hateno and buy it, I guess. And then I need to go chop some trees. Alright. That sounds like fun work that I will do and get set up for next time. But we've done that. What else do we want to do side quest-wise? I guess... Let's do this one. I, like, ran by this one because I was in a hurry to do, I think, some Master Sword stuff. But let's go check out the Beckoning Woman. Wherever she may be. Ah, up here. This is one of those Princess Zelda rumors. But yeah, so Tanner put out... he added an enemy. Let me find what it was. It's a devil. I think it's one of the ones that we met in Avernus that Nate added to the game also. Radiant Citadel. Orthon. It's an Orthon, which is that big, like, elephant man looking motherfucker. Skull face, elephant tusks. Anyway,
ringing a bell.
We whomped him real bad. He was really proud of himself. He had this plan for, like, he was like, okay, so, like, he basically just added a second boss for that, like, chapter, which I think is a great idea. But he let us fight the regular boss fight first, and then on our own go find and fight the second boss that he added in. And because it was, like, 5-on-1, the Orthon just didn't get a turn. Like, I crit. Yeah. Someone like shoved it to the ground, so he got advantage. And then with advantage, I like made a long sword or a double-bladed scimitar attack, and I crit. And because I'm a paladin, when you crit, you dump a smite. So it was just, you know, one of those moments. He definitely had the wind sucked out of his sails a little bit. But I was like, no, man, like, this is... Like, you're learning, you're adapting. Like, you've run...
yeah, it's the key DM experience.
Yeah.
Learning that action economy is also part of balance, and that CR is not a strict indicator of how tough something will be. Yeah.
So, I think next time he'll add something, a boss fight with some minions. He's figuring it out. But it was fun. So, yeah, Cheryl, Radiant Citadel was fun. And then Sunday morning, I did Dragon of Icespire Peak. Which... this might be a short stream.
Don't have much good to say about that one, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Must be boring you.
Yeah, they were investigating, so they met a centaur who asked them to help get his home back from some marauding orcs. They went investigating this place called the Circle of Thunder, where the orcs hang out, where the centaur lived and the orcs hang out. And they ran upon an orc patrol that fucked them up pretty good. They healed up after that. And then getting into the... I almost got my second PC kill for that campaign. But...
That's the goal, right?
No,
they all eventually die by the end.
That's what I was about to say. Is I'm not trying. It's a learning campaign. The first one, like, I don't feel any regrets over. It was a player who they were like, where they're in a deep, dark cave in the mountains, and the player wants to go off on their own, and they were trying to sneak away from the rest of the party so no one would know what they're doing. And I flat out told them, like, hey, this is generally how this is going to go. You're going to go find something that's meant to be fought by 5 people by yourself, and you're going to die. And then they were like, well, I still want to do it. And I was like, are you sure? I did the DM, you know, wink, wink.
Yeah.
Are you sure? And they
sure
did
you
it
don't want to
anyway.
upgrade to Windows 11?
Yeah.
You really sure?
They did it anyway, so I have no regrets on that one. But this one was just, I think they just were, they had some unfortunate rules early on that meant they got mobbed by an orc patrol. Didn't think that was in that hitbox, but okay.
Yeah, obviously you can't prevent all of it. Sometimes it's just the way things work out. But that's
and
part
no
of the
one
big
did
nature.
die. It was just the same character got downed a couple times, so the player for her was a little frustrated.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Oh wow, that was like you didn't even have a fucking hitbox at all.
Yeah, iframes, baby. I'm pretty ready for the next Monster Hunter, I think.
Yeah, I know people have been talking about it a lot recently. Someone was saying, I think it was maybe on Giant Bomb or somewhere, someone was saying, like, the potential for it to be announced, people were talking about, like, before every major, like, game show or convention, and nothing came up this year.
Yeah,
So,
I think people were being optimistic. It seemed pretty clear to me that this year is, like, the year of Street Fighter 6 and Divinity.
Baldur's Gate?
No, well, I'm talking about Capcom releases. Like Capcom is focused on Street Fighter 6 and what's the Divinity, right? Divinity 2?
That's the Larian. That's the like the Baldur's Gate people that did the other. You're thinking of Dragon's Dogma. That's
I'm thinking of Dragon's Dogma. Yes.
I still need to play that. It's actually gotten higher up on my queue of games to play.
Oh really?
Over the past few years, yeah. Oh yeah. People are apparently it's like a cult classic in that like it came out like I remember when it came out, and then over on Waypoint a bunch of people were talking about how awesome it actually like is. I mean, not that people were like hating against it, but apparently it's pretty great.
It's just kind of flown under the radar a little bit.
Yeah, I've been meaning to play it and just haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah, but, so Dragon's Dogma 2 comes out this year, I think, and that's what they were.
Soon. Yeah.
They were focused on that at the Tokyo Game Show, and everyone was expecting Monster Hunter 6 to be announced at it instead. I'm like, I think we'll see. If it gets announced this year, that'll be a pleasant surprise, but I'm more expecting it next year.
Yeah. I would assume if they are working on like a successor to World, or at least the like same like style or engine or whatever, it's probably gonna take like an extra year or two.
Yes. And that is what they have said, is that they are, I think, not necessarily that it's a successor to World, but that they are focusing on the PC as the next, it's going to launch on PC first, whatever they're working on, based on just the World sales and things like that.
That would be nice if they end up, if that is what they're going for, is one of like the newer types versus like the older type Monster Hunters. I feel like Rise is a little bit more couched in like the old style in terms of just like art and also like the lobby system and stuff. But I think PC would be the better way to go, especially now that they've had enough ports and PC first releases.
Yeah, I'll be interested. Especially, I feel like, and this is something I did to myself, but I didn't gel with World as much as others have, and I think a big reason for that was I like the way I played through the game, and I like didn't play it at the beginning. Other Monster Hunter games that wasn't an issue. Oh, Rolera, what's up? Okay, your friend.
Oh, I think I've done this one actually.
Around the debris on the opposite cliff. Let her know that. Okay. All right. Are we seeing her over there? Nope. Hiding around here somewhere? Nope, that's a tree. Ah.
Devil Joe says, I want Monster Hunter 6 now.
Don't be a capital G gamer, Devil Joe. I'd be excited for it. Yeah, okay. Oh, what a surprise.
Yeah.
Oh, there's two. Oh, shit. There's like three of you. All right. Oh, fuck. Okay. Shit's getting real.
I hit him with the old shock or something similar.
One's gone.
I was wondering, your UI does not seem to be... I don't know if you just like have a different like view setting, but I feel like there's like elements missing or something.
I turned a lot of those things off.
Okay, I was wondering. I was like, why does it seem so empty?
Yeah.
It's already pretty minimal UI.
No, I like the super minimal. And that's one of the reasons I think I've died more often. Is because I don't always see my hearts.
I thought I was at full health.
Yeah, basically.
I don't see it. It doesn't exist. Yeah, I think I'm excited for more Monster Hunter. Obviously, I think having done Fatalis and doing the Monday streams for so long, I'm kind of good on it. Like I'll be ready to pick it up whenever it comes out, but I'm not.
Yeah.
Like as always, I've got so many other things that I want to play and get into that I'm like, yeah, I'll be ready for it when it happens, but I won't really get hyped until like release month probably. With that, I'm going to be right back.
Oh, sure thing. Yeah, I guess what's everyone else looking forward to besides Monster Hunter? Anything else people really, really want to see soon? I think for me, it's Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door remake. Ooh, I'm excited! And Super Mario RPG. Nice little bit of coinage. Hey, Froggy. Love it. You know what? I'll take it. So, what else have I been... you know what? They didn't leave me any bananas, did they? Look at that. What a bunch of cheapskates. Where's my bananas, Yigas? Alright, next one. Master Koga. Okay, I gotta go that way. I don't know if I'm down for that one yet. Messages from an Ancient Era. 13 stone tablets. Capture the stone tablets in pictures and show them to Wordsworth. Okay, I haven't done that one. I haven't even started. I'm not going to worry about that one. All right, I find him. Bring peace to Hebra. Let's do this one. Yeah, let's do some more of these monster... maybe not a Monster Squad one. Missing farm tools. This is another princess missing one. Yeah, why not? Let's find us another princess. I feel like that frog suit is pretty nice. We'll get my horse out of the wall too. Actually, I am gonna go get a water because I am a little parched. So we'll be right back. wet my whistle. What
Gross.
were, huh?
I said gross.
Yeah, yeah. Ew. Um, oh, people are talking about what they want to come out. NoobTube says Mario Odyssey 2. I. Do you mean Super Mario Wonder, or do you mean like you just want another 3D Mario game? Because I'm excited for Super Mario Wonder. I guess I take it back. I don't know if excited the right word, but I'm like I'll play it and I'm sure it'll be
Yeah.
fun. But
Optimistically curious. That's like my
yes.
default mode for most of these.
But if they did announce it like Mario Odyssey 2, I'd be like excited. I'd be legit excited. What else we got? A new, hopefully good Pokemon game. Yeah, I've fallen off it entirely. I like mad props. I was watching a video the other day that was interesting because like I'm still like tangentially curious about trading card games. I don't play any of them anymore, but I watch some videos, some content creators who do Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Pokemon stuff, and it's been interesting to see like everyone is in agreement that Pokemon, the trading card game, has the best monetization, where you buy a pack of real cards, you get a code for a digital pack, so you don't really have to buy cards. Like your collection, your real and your digital collection is the same. Maybe not the same exact cards, but you have the same amount of cards in your collection, which is awesome. And then they like all the cards are available at multiple rarities, is the way I understand it, because in Pokemon, rarity just means art style. So their version of rarity is just alternate arts. So all the staples, like there's no, I don't know, what's like an expensive staple in Magic the Gathering? Like Krenko, Goblin, or the what's the Goblin
Power
Pirate?
9?
No, not the band stuff. Something that's like good to put in decks in general.
Oblivion Ring, probably. Oblivion Ring is really useful. Any kind of like white removal, probably. I know what you're talking about. I can't think of like the ones that have like been known for like
Dockside Extortionist. Dockside Extortionist right now is a
Delver.
$60 card.
Oh wait, I think I know this one.
And
Yeah.
it's like if you're playing certain things, like especially in Commander, you need a Dockside Extortionist if you're trying to play competitively, because people are going to play treasure tokens, and you need to be like
wow, that is a board flip.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
good.
So but that card, like there are staples in the Pokemon TCG, but those staples, if you don't care about rarity, if you don't care about blinging out your deck, the staple is like $10 instead of 60, because you can just get the common one. And then yeah, if you have the money and you really want to bling shit out, you can get like triple big dick hollow foil alt arts of everything, you know. So
Yeah.
I'm in a weird state where like I'm the thing I'm curious about the most in Pokemon in general is the trading card game. I'm still not playing it, but I'm curious. I'm just, and it's not that I'm not like a boomer where I'm like, oh, these games are garbage or anything. They just aren't grabbing my interest anymore.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was a bit of a rant.
No,
What
I mean,
else?
I totally agree. Actually, that's what I was kind of referring to in chat. I was like, I'm like hating against them. I realized that they're not really for me anymore. That like the hook that used to get me in on them has kind of like faded
Yes.
like entirely. Like there's been plenty of like Pokemon games that I played where by like toward the end I was like, okay, I'm kind of ready to be done with this, and now I feel that pretty early
From
on.
the beginning. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like Sword, I realized I was like, oh, maybe like 5 or 6 hours in, I wasn't like, oh, I hate it. I'm gonna. Well, I don't do this with a lot of games. I don't like really. I've never returned anything on Steam, only because I just never like felt that I absolutely hated something that I had to return it. But also, I just never thought about doing that. But like,
Yeah.
it wasn't like one of those things where I was like, oh, I'm done playing this, because I thought I was just gonna put it down and like just not finish it. But it was kind of like, oh, I'm gonna finish this game, but like 6 hours into Sword, I was like, yeah, this is gonna be the last one for me, I think. Like,
Yeah.
I knew it early on, which is a weird feeling.
Yeah, it's there's something about just like it's okay, and I think this is something, again, I feel like I've been dogging on gamer culture today. Maybe that's just the mood I'm in. If you're not like this, then I'm clearly not talking about you. But if this like if this bothers you, then you're probably the problem. Uh, like the castle, it's the same thing with Castlevania. Like the new version of Castlevania is this show, and it's not. It doesn't necessarily need to be for everyone. If someone really is like super into the like hardcore lore of the old franchise, it's okay to say I'm not into the anime and I'm not getting engaged with it anymore. Just like I'm doing with Pokemon. Like the Pokemon games, I loved Pokemon when I was a kid. I played 1, 2, skipped 3, played the shit out of 4, like put 500 hours in that game. And then afterwards I was like, I'm good. I'll wait a bit. Hop back in on I think Sun and Moon, played the crap out of that. And then after that I was like, yeah, it's not like it's just not grabbing me. So instead of like dogging on it, hard time getting down the river. Interesting.
Oh yeah, this is an interesting one.
Okay, so maybe I'm not understanding. I just need to cross the river. He's
Yeah, you need to like I think unlatch it, and then I think he wants to go down on the river with you. Like you have to talk to him when you have like your raft complete, because he's trying to go get some
down over to Floret Sandbar and find out what happened. When I'm having a hard time with the raft. Okay, what are you having a hard time with? I'll take you. Yeah.
the raft.
All right. So what do I need to do to the raft? I can just do whatever I want. It looks fine.
I mean, if you want, yeah. There you go. Bye, buddy. Hope you find your dad. No, I cannot.
What? Who cares if you're falling? You're.
So there were a bunch of fans behind you there. I think the intention was to make something steerable.
Something
or at least...
steerable. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you baby.
I see.
Okay.
It's his fail state. But yeah, I'm in the same kind of agreement. Like, I don't expect the Pokemon series to like. Growing up with it and having nostalgia is one thing. I don't expect it to change to like what my tastes are, and I feel like that's like one of the versions of criticism I see is always a lot of like a lot of rightful criticism about like, yeah, some of these features just aren't fun, like they're not good, and I totally agree with that. But there's also a lot of stuff that's like, how come it's not more like the RPGs I'm playing more of now as an adult? I'm like, well, because it's not really they have to appeal to a wider range of an audience, because it is meant to be something that, you know, younger kids can play too.
Yeah.
And I don't, you know, I think that there's better ways they can handle it, but I don't like, I feel like a hot take is like some people have this weird expectation of like it should be more than what Pokemon kind of ever was, at least the mainline games. And like I don't see it. Like I think they could change up some modes or some features, but I don't think it's gonna be like more of a like, you know, I want this huge open world is like one of those things that people ask for in games that I think at least like kind of has like subsided a little bit. Or, you know, the games that are open world now are typically the ones that like have an interesting premise to try and do it. But like, yeah, I don't know if there's much else that can be done for Pokemon that would like make the people who grew up with it like happier. And I think that's not like a failing on them. It's just that's the nature of that game series in 2023.
Yeah, I think like what would get me back into Pokemon is I agree with you. I can see where like it would be awesome if this happened, but I'm not expecting it.
Or like when people ask for like, you know, more of the old stuff, I think like, yeah, for sure. Like if there were like a harder, like almost like the opposite of like easier modes, but like a harder version that you could opt into, like sure, I would totally do that.
Yeah.
And like, you know, I think outside of like just removing quality of life stuff, there are things they could do to try to get the same like magic of some of the first few generations, but I think like one, it's not really in their best interest to do so. I mean, I guess it could be now, but like there's just there's a lot of question marks about Pokemon that I think are kind of like, I don't know, that's really fixable.
And like you said, it could become in their best interest. Like we'll see what happens with sales down the line. Nothing can stay in homeostasis forever.
Right, yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, is eventually they will try to do an appeal, but what I'm afraid of is they're going to try and lean so hard into it that it's, you know, they're going to try and do, like, not like a hardcore adult Pokemon, but they're going to try to do something that, like, that does kind of like try to fit that mold, and then it's either going to be like panned and like universally hated, or it'll swing it in a way where it's like some people really enjoy it and it's what they wanted, but it'll be like the other half of the aisle is kind of just like, yeah, but like this is not really. It's so far in the other direction that I don't really feel like it's a Pokemon game anymore, or it's like at its core, it doesn't feel like the type of experience I'm trying to have with those games.
Yeah, the thing that excited me the most was the Legends Arceus. If they made a second Legends Arceus, I'd probably really have a lot of fun with that. But
Yeah.
what's been frustrating is I think the Pokemon games are having the same issues with like bugs and stuff as Bethesda games, but for some reason, and I don't know why, I couldn't give you like an objective reason why, but the Bethesda games like bugs and glitches and shit, um, like I feel like for me personally, they can get away with things where it's like, oh, that's charming Bethesda stuff,
Right.
and Pokemon, it's just frustrating, and I need like more Pokemon. I need more new Pokemon. I
Yeah.
know that they're unlikely to do it again because I think the third game and then the fifth game did like brand new Pokedexes and they weren't as well received. But to me, that's like the right idea.
Yeah, I think like we always talk about like Nintendo polish, and there's definitely an expectation of that.
Yeah.
It's kind of unfortunate because yeah, like Bethesda and some other studios could kind of get away with it because we also kind of expect it, and it is sort of charming. People do like that in those types of games. I think it's frustrating in Pokemon because in Pokemon, like it's one of those games that I always kind of consider like, even if you don't know anything about like the programming, you kind of understand like not just the core gameplay loop of like it's a turn-based RPG. I have team members, but like you typically know like not the always a man, always a lighthouse thing, but you get the story beats, and if you've played them before, you can kind of recognize them. And the same thing goes with like stuff like menuing and just like the little like details. And when that stuff is messing up from a Nintendo game, that's kind of annoying. And it's unfortunate that Pokemon still has to exist in a world where like we develop games like we do software, so it's very iterative and there's lots of updates and things. And I feel like maybe it's just the team or the philosophy or whatever, but like they're not able to keep up with that the way that other game studios have had to. So Pokemon has this problem of like there's other reasons as to why this last one was not very good and why that development went poorly, but like it feels like it's just not a game that holds up or has been holding up well with like the modern style or the current like style of like developing video games. Not that I
Yeah.
think you can't because of the game itself. It's just that's what the Nintendo team seems to be running into with this. Yeah, Shanice, I was gonna say I actually like I like some of the alternate ones. I think like
When we
I
say
didn't play
alternate,
Arceus,
what are
but
we
it seems
talking
cool.
about? Oh, okay,
I,
okay.
I would assume, yeah, like the non like Arceus seems like a cool thing. If it were a couple years prior, I probably would have really liked it because it's still like the same RPG, so people recognize it, but it's different enough. And like the innovation stuff, like double battles when those came out, that's a pretty cool way to innovate it. But the core is still the same, so it's not like you have to relearn a bunch of like innate knowledge.
Yeah.
I
Pokemon
remember,
Snap 2 was a ton of fun. I really liked that one. We streamed it.
yeah, I
I
feel like it didn't get like commercial success, but people that enjoyed Snap got to at least try it again in like a modern setting. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, and just being able to take pictures of new Pokemon was awesome. Oh wait.
Yeah. Um, you hear about Wild Hearts? No, I didn't. Did something
Oh, I
happen?
did. Wild Hearts is being. It's not going to be supported anymore. Um,
Oh, I did hear. Yes, read about this a couple days ago. Yeah, that's right.
so I guess
Man,
maybe this is if this is related. Are we talking about other games that are like catch? So if when someone says alternate Pokemon games, I could think of like there's three things I think of. There's like the non-main franchise games like Legends Arceus, Snap, that sort of stuff. There are the fan games, and then there are like Pokemon. I don't know, nuclear radiation and Pokemon Twinkie. Just like
I'm assuming they're talking about like official games that aren't the main line like RPGs.
the other thing
Like Pokemon Dash would technically count. I just now remember that. That's wild.
The other thing I was thinking of was, do they mean the like non-Pokemon games that are monster catcher type stuff? So I know
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
they announced a new Dragon Quest Monsters.
Oh yeah, I
Um,
forgot about that. Yeah.
So like, I'd play Dragon Quest Monsters. I think it's fine, but I do think a lot. And there's like Yokai Watch and the Fossil Fighters, and I haven't played any of those. A lot of a lot of my attachment to Pokemon, I think, comes from the IP, the nostalgia associated with it,
Yeah.
and the aesthetic design choices of the Pokemon. So other IPs that try and do something similar don't do it for me. I'm not. That's not criticizing anything about any of that. It's just I don't feel as strongly about that. Devil Jojo. That's a big reason. The reason I made that connection is because with Wild Hearts, it's the same thing. I like Monster Hunter because I like those specific monsters. I tried playing. What's the other one? Dauntless.
Dauntless, yeah, Dauntless. I could not. I hadn't played it since 2019, but I couldn't. I couldn't stay in that one.
Yeah, it was like mostly fine, but it's just I want to hunt Lagiacrus. I don't want to hunt Elk Man monster.
Right.
Um,
The owl thing was
oh,
cool.
Magda! Oh no, was this your house?
She the villain from Diablo 3?
She's the one that she had in Breath of the Wild. She had yeah, she had the path of flowers you had to navigate to get to the shrine. And every time you got off the path and you stepped on a flower by accident, she'd be super pissed.
Oh, did I ever do that one? I don't know if I did. Maybe that's one of the two that I don't have in that one.
It's a really fun shrine. You should go
Huh.
look it up and do it at some point. Oh god, this camera guy. Oh boy, you got to reframe. There we go.
Yeah. Just a little bit to the left there.
uh,
Yeah. If we're talking about like the alternate, like the Pokemon style stuff, like I guess the Digimon games never really had one like that. But there's one I think that is the answer to trying to capture that feeling again, and that's Bomberman fucking Tournament, the best monster capture game of all time. At least I don't know if it's a capture game, but it has
I've
like
never heard of this.
turn-based. Oh, dude, I love Bomberman Tournament when I was a kid.
This
Such a
was
fun
like
game.
N64, GameCube, PlayStation.
So it was on the Game Boy Advance.
Okay.
And this was like after they were doing like this is when Bomberman was like still coming out with stuff. Like they just had another release on the N64 a couple years prior. But it like I'm trying to remember like what it was exactly because now that I'm thinking about it, my memory on it's kind of fuzzy. But it was like a single player like quest mode of like Bomberman. So you ever played Bomberman? It's the top down like labyrinthian type game where you try to drop bombs and kill your opponents by these bombs that explode in like lines. But then they just like randomly threw in like this Pokemon style like mini game in it. That was like actually surprisingly like really good. It played a little bit like Pokemon, but it was more like Monster Rancher style of monsters, which it was like a kangaroo, like a boxing kangaroo. There was like this weird Pikachu looking type thing.
Okay,
There was like a dragon at one point.
I don't want to interrupt because I want to hear more, but this is real cute.
Oh, yeah.
I think this cougar is gonna scoop this dude.
Oh yeah, no, this quest line is really good. I
Okay.
do like this. Or
So-
I don't know if it's a quest line, but yeah, that was pretty much done. That was it.
So it's I'm trying to wrap my head around it. The overworld is a Bomberman game, and then you get into monster fights as you unlock them when you bomb stuff.
Something like that. Let me see if I can't find like a video of it.
Yeah. If you post a link to a video in the video game channel, I'm curious.
Yeah. I don't know if it was strictly a monster capture like type of game, but it had an element of it that I think worked really well.
Interesting.
But yeah, in terms of like the alternates, yeah, I don't know if there's something that could replace it very well.
Oh, I'm
Caravan
getting
is what they're called.
silver rupees now. Nice.
And there's a lot of quests give that as a reward. Seems
Yeah.
interesting.
Well, it makes sense because shit costs so much money now. Yeah. So this, I mean, it's a fountain now, but this was a shrine out here. This spot on the map, and then this was like rows and rows of very intricate, very thin paths that went through this field of garden of flowers. And if you stepped off the path incorrectly at any point, Magda would yell at you and kick your ass out. I'm just gonna steal all this shit.
Okay, so I'm watching the video now, and it's not quite. It has like a turn-based looking setup, but it looks like it's more of like you pick a set of attacks and then they like the rounds resolve or something. But I remember like thinking of it as being pretty neat. I actually don't know. I assume that game probably isn't considered very good. But one of those weird ones that I
got
played.
A lot of nostalgia for it. Nothing wrong with that.
Shani said, "Yeah, like Digimon." Okay, so we are talking about like the.
Okay.
Not the copycat.
I've still never played a Digimon game. Lauren, our friend and Arbitrary Hero member, has like tried to convince me to check it out, but she cannot sell me on that shit.
Yeah. I know like the sleuth detective ones are apparently like really popular like amongst the fans.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So I always kind of thought they would try to do like an equivalent, but I guess they like leaned in a different direction for Digimon, but people really like those games. Finn and Poe, I was a huge Metabots fan. I think we've talked about that on stream before, but yeah, I didn't play like the actual like the core games, but I played like the side scroller like Smash Brothers style one that was really good. Yeah, Mega Man Battle Network, quite possibly one of the best Mega Man series ever. It's good.
It's real good. The remake's a lot of fun also. I highly recommend if someone hasn't checked it out. There's too many games, Tom. There's
so many, and it's like the Mega Man Battle Network 1 and 2 I've already played before.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, but it's back.
Yeah.
Why play new game when old game worked fine?
Yeah. It's real good. I consider MegaMan.net a Pokemon type. I see that because you're like you've got your programs and your Metabots is similar. I see that. Metabots and Mega Man feel like they were kind of similar in games. Digimon, my problem with Digimon is this, and I recognize it's part of the premise, and I just need to get over it. But the Pokemon, I like that there is physicality and I'm not going to call it science because that would be untrue. But there's like a consistent rule set about how Pokemon evolution works. And specifically because Digimon are like essentially avatars of digital programs, they purposefully don't do that where and this is me exaggerating, but it feels like anything can digivolve into fucking anything, and it doesn't even
like
matter.
They lean into it too, which as a kid I never really realized is kind of wild. Like the little like guinea pig looking thing with like wings becomes like this super ripped angel paladin man, and I'm like, yeah, that doesn't really make a lot of sense. I mean, like I appreciate it now, like from a distance, but like it is kind of hard. Like it's not as memorable to me because of that. Like
yes,
some of the naming conventions in the West at least are kind of odd.
And I think that's actually where, because they put less emphasis on 35 points. Holy shit. Oh, 5 more points and everything's half off. Awesome.
Nice.
All right, let's go back to Hateno Village and let's do this other quest. We talked about it last time that this Tears of the Kingdom heavily implies that Link and Zelda are cohabitating and living together and having sex, and I am here for it. I love love.
Is that what they said?
Yes,
they confirmed for sure.
Because the house that you get that is your house in Breath of the Wild in this game is Zelda's house. So I view it as
she's taken over. Is
Princess Zelda is our live-in girlfriend. I'm here for it. But yeah, Digimon, like the Pokemon 100% embrace the idea of like distinctive and memorable character designs are what's going to sell things. And it CC, what's up? Oh, what am I doing? Hand out mushrooms to read voters and paint them in CC colors inside and out. 8 villagers waiting for mushrooms. Okay. Alright. I think I'm gonna go sleep, and then we'll hit this one in the morning when everyone's out and about. Oh god.
Yeah. This one I kind of did over time, because it's a little annoying to find all the people that aren't wearing mushroom stuff.
Yeah. Oh, okay. At least that makes sense. Visual cue, they should be not wearing mushroom stuff. Wasn't there a... Before I fast forward time, wasn't there something in Kakariko about, like, some lady was worried about her grandma, and so she's fucking me, she's price gouging me on the Kakariko ninja suit, the Sheikah suit?
That's she needs to make the soup for her grandma, but she can't remember what the ingredient is or something. I think it's a Sundelian.
I'm gonna go back and see if I can sort that one out. But yeah, so because Digimon didn't embrace this character-driven marketing idea, I think that's the reason it's not as successful as Pokemon. Like, I know Agumon, but my non-English speaking grandmother knows Pikachu.
What was the allegory there?
Just everyone knows Pikachu's like Mickey Mouse.
Yes, yeah, and that's like for sure I think is part of the problem why kids didn't really remember them like as often. For that same reason, and also it's like remembering the evolutionary lines or the Digi whatever. I'm not gonna try and say it. The evolutionary lines for those things is kind of hard. Like even as a kid, I got confused. Like I loved Gabumon was always my favorite. The penguin coat looking thing with like bear or like wolf teeth that becomes Greymon, which was one of my favorite fucking evolutions, which is just ripped werewolf man who for whatever reason seems to suddenly get genes, which is just such a great his Gabumon's next evolution is like a bigger wolf on all 4 legs. I'm like, cool. And the next one is, yeah, but what if he was like an Abercrombie model, and I think they give him like guns later at some point.
Yeah, or like the little seal walrus guy that turns into like a bug later on. The lack of connective tissue definitely to me hurts.
Yeah, and then like
memorability.
The other one, I like it. Like I like the concept because like now I'm like, oh, that's pretty rad. Like it's one of those things that's so weird and out there that I'm like, yeah, I think this is a good idea. But like, there's like a lot more like lateral evolutions, and there's like these combination ones where like the order, like the precedence, doesn't really make a lot of sense. So like as a kid, like kids aren't gonna be able to remember like Markov chain levels of evolutionary lines.
Yeah.
Which is why I think Pokemon was smart to like stick to 3, and then like evolutions are easy because it's just like every element gets one.
Yep.
And I'm not like trying to sound like a boomer to the Digimon fans. I know like I still think the joke is kind of funny, even though it's super overplayed. But the dog evolves into refrigerator with a Gatling gun and wings. I'm like,
yeah.
I think it's funny, but yeah, it's also like I get why. Like it's digital. Like they don't actually have biological roots, so they can kind of look like whatever. But it is what it is. I think that's
again, it is what it is, and it's not for me, and that is A-okay.
And that makes it wrong on a fundamental level.
Yeah. And their inclusion of minority characters is a cop-out to woke extremism, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Thank you for that one, Reddit. I felt way stupider after I read that. Okay, here it is. Cure.
Yeah. This isn't really related, but it's probably been about a week since I've said it out loud. So, fucking 4Kids or whoever, bring back Duel Masters. Just do it. Card game was fun. The show was funny as hell. Just bring it back. It was good.
Okay, Hylian rice, fresh from wild greens. Okay, so I'm gonna cook this and then give it to her.
I think so, or that, or yeah, no, I guess you do have to cook it.
Or maybe I'll talk to her.
Yeah, see, I was say try and give her just the ingredient first, but if that doesn't work, then maybe
Okay, of
just
course it helps with gloom. So I do have Sundelions. Yep.
maybe you do have to cook it first.
Okay.
Because I don't know if there's a way you can just
Highland
show
grass, fresh milk, wild greens. Alright, let me get all my ingredients out. Wish there's a way to sort this shit like alphabetically, but okay.
it to her. Yeah.
Hylian herb. Is that a wild green? Sundelion. Hold one of those.
I think wild green is like its own like name for a thing.
That's what I'm. You know what I don't have? Milk.
Yeah, it's a killer one. I think you might be able to buy it here in town.
Hopefully. Or maybe I can just kill her grandmother. Cough, cough. Shh, only dreams.
Going to the great Zonite graveyard in the sky.
Listen, your granddaughter is fucking me on these clothing prices. Is there anything you can do about it? Ah, god damn it. Alright. I haven't... You said up front. I think this is just a house.
Yeah. What else?
So, Dragon of Ice Fire Pika talked about. We played 2 more episodes of Max's Mad Mythic Mercenaries. It feels like we're going to at least get 1 more Stone of Galore before, recording-wise, before the New Year's begins. Although, we just recorded our New Year's Eve episode, the episode that's going to come out on New Year's Eve. We have now recorded because that is how far ahead we are in terms of episodes. I know people have been asking about the Q&A session. That episode, I believe, comes out next weekend.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask, is that the first one, or have we've done one prior to this, right?
I did one. Yeah, Erlen Village is safe, no problem. Not gonna give me anything for it. Okay, fine. I did a Q&A / like round table about the Rime of the Frost Maiden campaign. I'm not sure if that's what you're meaning.
Maybe. Yeah, I know we've been talking about doing the Q&A for a while. I wasn't sure if that if it had been so long that this is the second one. I gotta be honest.
No. It had been so long that this is the first one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It's been a minute. We recorded it at the beginning of summer, and then we kind of immediately went on hiatus. And I've been doing like recap episodes to fill in the time, which is why we're not like out of episodes. Okay. Sundelion porridge. Where do I find these freaking ingredients? Do you know Chick Tracks?
Yeah,
the little Christian comics.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, Nate brought a couple home when I was a kid, and I was like, "This is weird."
Yeah, it okay. The wild greens are Sundelions. Okay, fresh milk at Hateno's.
For the Sickos guy comes from, I think.
That one and the they hated him because he spoke the truth.
Oh yeah,
that's from Chick Tracks. So someone recently put the archive up on him, and it like I was reading through them again, and I was like I mean again out of context, some of these are funny, but then you're looking at them and you're like, this is some fucked up stupid shit.
Oh yeah, they're terrible.
All right, we're going back to Hateno. I need to buy some milk, and then I already have the greens I need. Gonna make me some magical porridge. Here we go. Oh, it's raining. I thought that I'd have time this weekend to finish out the last 2 episodes of Castlevania yesterday, but like editing and stuff, and then how much D&D we played, it ended up not happening. I was surprised. I was like 1,000% ready for Hannah to be kind of mad that we played essentially 3 sessions of D&D yesterday, And I was like, hey, I can try and like reschedule one of these, but no, she was surprisingly on board with it. It's been really interesting to see. Ooh, frogs. It's been really interesting to see her like views on D&D and stuff. I'm excited to see her to play with her as a DM and see how that goes. She's been reading the Dragons of Stormwreck Isle to kind of prepare for that. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Right, yeah. I'm kind of curious just to hear the Q&A in general. The Adventure Zone had a thing like that for their first campaign. That was actually really nice because it was like a nice reprieve, but you also get to hear the players talk about it out of the context of playing the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd be curious to hear that, to know. And has been dragged into the world of D&D to some extent. I think it's curious to hear what she thinks about it, having now played for, I guess it's been a couple of years now, right?
Yeah, I mean, we started. I mean, it's we just recorded episode 73, which if you assume every episode is 2 hours, which it's not quite, is 146 hours of playtime, and that's just that campaign. Hannah also has played in other stuff.
Right.
So yeah, it's funny because Ian and Cherie still refer to themselves as like beginners. And I'm like, no, you all have been banging it out for a while now. I'm excited to finish the campaign though. I think I might be a little tunnel visioned. I've started like reviewing my notes and stuff and deciding things to, like, the things that they have bounced off of as players. Like, I'm not gonna force them to do shit that they aren't engaging with. Oh, this is a fun little tidbit. So in terms of what I okay, what I like have learned about their playstyles, I tried to do just recently. There's like a kind of a heist like scenario, um, and I tried to use from Blades of the Dark the flashback point system.
Oh yeah, I've only engaged with that like once or twice in Beam Saber.
Yeah, I thought like I was pretty generous with the points and things, and like I was pretty careful about like setting up scenarios where it's like, okay, you're incentivized to flashback and like tell me how you like prepped for this, and they kind of bounced off of it pretty hard. They were really struggling with the concept of like retconning essentially, like there was a point where, spoilers I guess, but who cares, Nate's character Roland is sliding a fishbowl across the table and he fails his like sleight of hands check or whatever it is. And so I was narrating that the fishbowl tips over, and I was like trying to prompt him. I was like, if you want to use one of your flashback points, now's the time. And he was like, yeah, I can't think of anything. And then as a reaction, another character, Sprocket, used his, and he was like, well, let's say I flashback to me buying like a sealed fishbowl at the pet store. I was like, great.
That's
yeah.
great.
Yeah. It's like, that's exactly like, it doesn't have to be like crazy complicated. But it's one of those things where like I tried it, they didn't click with it, so I'm not gonna like force it on them anymore.
Right. I can kind of see, yeah, from that perspective. I was about to ask like what would have been like the ideal like item or whatever to like retcon in, because even I was like, I actually don't know what I would do. Like, would it be like a grabby hand thing or something?
I was like, I was trying to be super generous since like it was their first time and I was kind of winging it as I went. So like they could have basically done anything.
Right. And that's kind of what it's supposed to be, is like it's a sort of a get out of jail free card, but it also like encourages storytelling, because you got to be like, okay, how do you solve what's currently going on based on something that could be possible? And you do. I feel like it's also hard because you get a lot of creative freedom with it, in a sense that like, you're not used to in D&D, where you get to say, actually, this doesn't happen because of this.
Yeah.
And that does, it gives me some pause when I did it for Beam Saber, but it was also much more like, yeah, very casual. It was like, oh, actually, I do have a sniper rifle because I said so. And
yeah.
Now I have one.
Yeah, I think if we were like in the middle of combat, Actually, no, they did use it a couple times in combat. I was about to say, like, in the middle of combat, I could see where, like, you're having this very narratively loose mechanic combined with a much harder, like, grittier combat system, crunchier combat system. They might not have gelled well, but I think it was just the players. I'll say Hannah and Danny as players like loved it, and I think Ian, Sheree, and Nate not so much.
I could see that. Yeah.
They came up with some stupid ass shit, but it was awesome.
Yeah, that's the kind of like I guess Kingdom is similar in like the same kind of like concept of some of the newer like innovations or things in tabletop games is giving players more like creative freedom.
Yeah.
But not in a way that's just like give me like, you know, a 3-page long backstory, but is more of like how do we encourage more like creativity and like world building like in the game itself from the players that is like mechanically like appropriate. It's not just like I have all the powers and no one else does, but it's like, you know, it's like advantage and disadvantage are fun because it's situational and it's like a tool in your tool belt that when you have it, you're like, oh fuck, I'm so happy that I packed this.
Yes.
And this is one of those systems that I think works really well because it does give you the option of like, you might not be able to come up with something, but at least, you know, you have like, it's one of your special bullets that you can pull out and be like, actually, let's reverse this bad scenario, but also it gives you something that you can use for the rest of the session, I think, at least by the Blades of the Dark rules.
Yeah.
And Beam Saber does it really well, which is like, you know, if you're a mech pilot, you probably have this equipment. Like once you use it, like you have it like permanently. So if you have like, I don't remember the exact rules, but if you have like 3 slots for these things, if you use one of your retcon points, that is one of your permanent 3 items until the, you know, the session is over, the episode is over.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I like it because it gives the GM something to work with too, where it's like, okay, yeah, you brought your super powerful sniper rifle that you just happened to forget until now, but also your rifle is making so much noise that now this other thing is happening.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's nice. I like that kind of stuff. I definitely I kind of have like some pushback on it, and just in that like it takes me a little bit to like get used to like, oh, I'm just allowed to come up with like whatever. I'm like, okay, well, you know, I gotta think of something. But I think once you get used to it, it's really nice. And that like Kingdom has some similar stuff about like world building, which is like, you know, sometimes you are allowed to just like overwrite something, or you are allowed to like come up with the thing that seems like too good to be true, and that can actually be more fun because of it.
Yeah, definitely takes some getting used to.
Yeah. I still can't get clocks down from Blades in the Dark. I still, like, as a GM, I don't understand, like, how to appropriately, like, make them work, because, like, I'm like, okay, what counts as a point?
Yeah.
It's, like, one of those things where, like, it's, like, to me, it feels like, you know, like, the classic, like, vision of a kid in grade school, and his dad's trying to teach him, like, long division, and he just can't get the first building block down. It's kind of like me with clocks. I'm like, I understand what it's supposed to do, but I just don't understand how to
something's bouncing off.
Yeah. That's an interesting thing. Have you done that with more like other like systems or games, like where you adopt something from a different system?
I'm trying to think. I've ran Cyberpunk Red rules as raw as much as possible. And I'm still struggling with that system. I want to play a game again. I think I might want to cater a little bit more to bird eggs. There you go. I want to cater a little more to the players I play and just figure out a way to make it a little more engaging. I think because right now, you played it earlier on, but the group that I've been like GMing for, like, they're just super combat focused, and I think I'm in Cyberpunk Red. I want there to be combat, but I don't want it to be do I have to buy my own goddamn eggs back? No. All right. I don't want there to be like just combat. I feel like that's not what the system's for.
Yeah. Cyberpunk stuff is well, Cyberpunk and mech stuff, really futuristic stuff. And Cyberpunk, I guess, is a good example of it. But like, I guess there's like a reason why a lot of cyberpunk stuff is very heist based, because like the heist as a story platform, it's almost like a whodunit. Like it's such a good narrative device because it gives you a cast of characters who are trying to accomplish a goal, and then the action fills in where it needs to. And
Yes.
I think like that is kind of what a lot of those systems, like they're obviously they have combat. They're not like every mission is going to be a heist, but a heist is just such a good like narrative device for, telling a story, that I think like a lot of those are trying to do that, where combat is supposed to be more lethal in like cyberpunk systems because it's, a lot more not like realistic, but it's a lot more like, dying is a lot more serious and it happens quicker. And like it's supposed to be used almost not like a cudgel, but more of like a combat can be really fun, but it can also be really costly. So if you're gonna lean into it, you gotta like lean into it. But also, you shouldn't be able to just like go guns blazing and then the whole session is guns blazing.
Yeah.
And
And
that I don't know if they hit on that in the book at all, but like that's kind of how
I
I would
think
imagine
the
it.
the pre-made scenarios I've run haven't done a good job hitting on that. But I've been running just the stuff that came with like the starter kit and the really basic stuff. I'm wondering if I'm like, if this is a sign that I'm ready to run something a little more complicated.
Right.
And maybe I'll find that more satisfying.
I feel like Morkborg does a good job of that kind of thing of like, the combat in it can be fun, but it's incredibly lethal. And it's a game that by design, like if you do like the pre-generated characters, like everyone in that game is a piece of shit. It's kind of like Dark Souls. Like if I die, I'm like, that's whatever. But like it's one of those things where like the combat can also be really fun because of it. It's like the tables turn very quickly, but also there's a lot of times where in my last session, my friend and I would avoid it entirely because like it could end really badly, or it was like the stuff we would run into would be these like impossible odds. It would be like, oh, those are four cultists with giant mouths in their chests. Are you sure the two of you with your dinky rags are going to be able to take on even one of them? So
Yeah.
we were like, actually, let's not, and that was fine. But that's also, I think, it depends on the players and kind of their behavior toward it, I guess.
Yeah, I don't want to call out a name, but there's one player in particular that I think is not a great fit for that system. So I am taking a break from Cyberpunk Red. I'm refocusing on D&D as I'm like sorting out my feelings about the system and my time with it so far.
Right.
Uh, ooh,
Uh,
lots
Finn
of
and Poe,
goodies.
what are you referring to? The cyberpunk or the heist? And NewTube, I haven't actually played any of Cyberpunk yet. Although the recent stuff makes me feel like I might actually enjoy it now. I just didn't really care about it toward the beginning, and I love Cyberpunk stuff, so I was like, maybe I'll get around to it once all like the hype has kind of died down, so I can get like a more accurate representation of my feelings on it.
Yeah.
But it looks pretty good now. I would play it with my infinite time making machine.
Oh, all right. This guy's gonna fuck me up if I'm
Oh,
not careful.
yeah, this is a fun shrine. I like this one.
Woo!
Whoa! Look at
Yeah.
that. That's a clip for sure.
Oh, so smooth, so good. I think I really want that mace, but I'm gonna leave it for now. I feel like I want to
Yeah.
start high and
I
then work my way down.
I think you get better stuff at the top here that'll help you get the rest of it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the premise of Cyberpunk like as a system. I think even maybe more so than Shadowrun, just because the races are kind of hard to keep track of. From the few games I played of that, but like Cyberpunk, I like the idea, and like I like Cyberpunk stuff in general, just because computers and hacking and all that. But like,
The
yeah,
aesthetic
I
I
haven't
like a
played it.
lot.
Right, yeah, the aesthetic is really cool and the setting is cool. But I feel like I haven't played enough of it to really get like the feel like I've really like gotten the core of it. But I can see why that's the combat focus is kind of an issue. I feel like that is kind of true for a lot of crunchier systems in general. It's that combat it's the most recognizable, actionable thing by people that play games, and so they kind of assume that you're always worried about combat in the back of your head, so it ends up becoming like your primary focus. Like in D&D, when people level up, they're not really worried about like. I don't hear many people talking about like where their character is kind of like growing as like a narrative device. They're more worried about how many hit points they have.
Yes.
And that's not like a problem. It's just like it's more of an observation. Like I get why that's kind of like everyone's default mode, and I try to step away from that a little bit.
Yeah, it can be tough to like break away from certain tropes. And I think that's one of the reasons I was so excited about Red when I first like learned about it and stuff. I felt like it was it has such good aesthetics and fluff already that like it would, the style would help me like set up the campaign. And I don't know if it's oh fuck. Where are you going? Alright, let's go back to this thing.
I feel like there are some like I don't know if they're single page RPGs, but there are some like smaller system games that probably handle cyberpunk stuff better. I know there's one, I think like Lasers. What's it called? I'm thinking of the Carly Rae Jepsen one called Lasers and Feelings. But there is
Carly
like
Rae
a style.
Jepsen TTRPG?
Yeah. There was I don't know if it was like a game jam, but there's a bunch actually specifically about at least if not about her or her music, it has something to do with like the themes in her music. I forget who was telling me about this years ago, but there's one called Lasers and Feelings, and it's like it's a cyberpunk heist one. But the system for it is actually really good. I think it's used in something else. But I feel like there are some smaller tabletop role-playing systems that handle cyberpunk stuff better, and they kind of remove the combat focus as much, or they do a better job of saying like, combat here is not going to be like Skyrim or Fallout where you get to pause. It's going to be very quick and very lethal. So if you're going to do it, you got to be sure that you are like ready to do it. And that's why like the heist element works, because it's easier to sneak around and operate in the world when you're not actively in combat. And if you get into it, it's going to be really tough to get out of, and things can very quickly domino effect out of your hands. I'm very curious. I guess that's something I don't feel is true about the games that I've been playing, where it doesn't feel like, because that's something that I've seen in like stealth computer games where like, what do you call it? It's like a fuck up like domino effect. Yeah.
But I don't feel like D&D. I don't feel has that, and I don't think Cyberpunk really has that. But maybe
I would assume it's probably also like a design thing, I guess, where like the way it works in most like stealth games is obviously like, there's a whole system of people. Like there's guards, and if you alert one, they will try to like alert the others. So I think part of it is also it depends on how you like GM it too. But yeah, it's interesting to me that that's not more of a thing in Cyberpunk Red.
Yeah, and again, it's like all I've done is run the starter missions in the starter box, and then in the like Cyberpunk Red Game Master's Guide. I've run I think 3 out of 4 of them, but I don't feel like, specifically because I'm not clicking with it, I don't feel comfortable doing something totally homebrew right now. So I think I'm gonna look for like more complicated pre-made stuff to try and get a better handle on things before I decide what I want to do with the game. All right.
Right.
Well, it feels like we got a little bit of time left. Goddess Statue of Wisdom. The Goddess Statue of Wisdom is troubled by our inability to sense the Mother Goddess statue in the vast canyon.
Oh yeah.
Sure. Let's knock that one out.
It's a good location. I think you've already been there.
Yes.
Too. It has the table with the NoobTube, if you're talking about Cyberpunk 2077, I still haven't played that game.
I guess I stopped paying attention for a little while. Like I didn't buy it when it came out. I heard all the same stuff that everyone else heard, and I was waiting for some big update, like when No Man's Sky stopped being a mess. There was like article after article about like they finally did you can finally do everything that they promised you could in No Man's Sky. I am waiting for that article about Cyberpunk 2077 before I check it out, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where I'm at. Like, I don't need it to have certain features. I just some of like the pre-hype and some of like CD Projekt Red's like stuff around like the pre-release of the game. I was kind of like, maybe I'll just touch it later in case it ends up being a total like shit show.
Is this the statue?
But I would probably play it eventually.
Oh, it is. Okay, it's toppled.
Damn. Rip.
Oh, okay, go back to the Spring of Wisdom. Alright, game. Do I need a picture?
Rip to the ancient ones, but I'm different. It's been a couple weeks, so I think I talked about it, but something happened today. It was fresh in my mind again. I told you that we got, while we were at the Country Apple Festival, basically on our way there, someone was road raging at us. Or I didn't hear about this.
Okay, it's so a couple weekends ago, Hannah and I went to the Country Apple Festival. We have a lot of good memories going there a while ago when we were younger. It's in Lebanon, Ohio. It was a small festival all about the apple harvest. Really nice time. Less than, I guess I should bundle up. We had a really nice time. Ate a bunch of like fresh apples, like fresh picked apples, apple products like apple pie, apple cider donuts. All it's basically just like as much apple as you can stand, and it was awesome. We decided to go again this year with some friends. What the fuck do you want, dude? Where's the treasure?
I think you talked to this guy, didn't you?
Yeah.
The Rings of Light? Oh, yeah, you did this part.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay. And we went again. Ooh, Cold Darner. Nice. And
again.
This year, it's grown a lot. There was a bunch of traffic. Oh, okay, hold on. I'll come back to it. Let me just do this.
Okay.
Well, I'll you know what? Fuck it. I'll leave it on this screen and just finish the story. So it's at the Warren County Fairgrounds, which is much bigger space, bigger venue. Hannah was pissed for a whole other reason I'll talk about in a second. But while we're getting there, there's like Google Maps is taking us along some back roads, and it's basically avoiding the parking traffic. Brilliant. There's a big multi-mile long line on this like 2-lane road of cars waiting to get in, and we come in perpendicular on a different road, and we turn left coming into the far lane on the right is where cars are turning in. We're in the left lane. I'm not in a rush. I'm a pretty chill driver. And I'm just pulling up alongside as far as I can, and there's a police officer directing traffic. And as soon as I pull up to where the car in front of me is, there's a car like next to us and kind of behind us, and there is this old lady, and I can just hear her shouting at us, "You better not fucking pull over! We're not letting you merge! Fucking, all this." And I'm like, lady, I didn't fucking ask. I'm cool. Like,
I remember asking.
Yeah, I'm not trying to bother you. I hope you have a great day. Namaste. But then the police officer, there's these 2 lanes, and we're in the left lane, and it's like 6 cars, and then there's like 1,000 in the right lane. The police officer decides, I'm gonna let the left lane clear out first. I'm gonna let you all turn into parking, and then I'll let the right lane go. So when the lady realizes this, and we start pulling ahead to pull into park, like she's fucking like slamming on her horn. Oh, Hannah's here. You want to tell it?
Jeez.
No. Fuck you, boober.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. She's slamming on her horn. She's cursing. She's like trying to tailgate. She like pulls out to like get around, but then like the police officer stops that lane, and I just like, as we're like, we are way ahead of them now, and we're in and we're ready to park, and you can still hear the horn of their car going. It was like, it's not even a moment, like, it was funny to me. It's not a moment of like revenge or satisfaction, because like I didn't fucking care in the first place. I would have been fine.
She didn't like actually stop you from like getting to where you needed to go.
Yeah, and if she had, that would have been okay. I wasn't trying to cut. It just like worked out that way. Hopefully that lady was just having a bad day and she's not like a piece of shit all the time. But it was
Right.
It was,
yeah. Ideally. Yeah.
it was really funny. And then we get to the Apple Festival, and Hannah had her Karen moment where they like, it's all these stalls, all this stuff going on. It's awesome. But it's a bunch of like standard fare food and a bunch of like homemade arts and crafts that people are selling. Hannah was like visibly like, where are the fucking apples? Where are the goddamn apples?
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, I do remember
It
this.
had grown so much that like it was no longer really an apple festival, which was a little disappointing. All right, let's
I get that.
bang out this goddess statue quest. Help you restore her. Seek the blue dragon Nature. I already got her. When you gain Nadra's claw offered at the spring. All right.
Oh, that's right. You gotta donate one of the dragon parts.
Do you know how hard that is? You fuckers. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
I hate that they do this. I get that though. Like they every now and then, like there's times where like I definitely like mess up like traffic patterns and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, that's fine. But like the really weird ones where it's just like out of nowhere, and you're like, I didn't like realize someone had like a short fuse behind me, and for some reason,
yeah.
this one thing that's not really inconveniencing them is the reason why they're losing their mind.
Yeah, it can be unnerving. It is I don't know. I'd say I feel for them, but I don't really feel for them. They just need to like get their shit together.
Or it's like there's nothing, since you haven't really like done anything like actually like wrong. There's no way to understand like why they're mad in the first place. I've had that happen a few times, not like a lot. I feel like a lot of people have like stories like ready for this, but I'm like, it's only happened to me like once or twice where I was like, I genuinely don't understand like what's going. Like I'm not even like upset. Also, I'm just confused. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah, I am fortunate in that I don't have to deal with that very often.
Yeah.
Okay, so the thumbnail today was a picture of the Zonai ruins, so I'm at least going to go there. But then I think we're gonna call this a stream because it is 8:30. And I don't know, like, it feels like there should be something special over here, and there isn't at the Zonai ruins. Like, this whole game, they like replaced the Sheikah with the Zonai, but they're like this part of the jungle.
Oh yeah, I haven't really been to Farron yet. In this.
Yeah, it's fine. It doesn't. I don't like. Maybe I'm missing something, but I don't feel like there's anything special going on. Just some shrines and some bad guys. Maybe I'm totally wrong, and I've absolutely like botched some. Like I missed some.
Taking the
very
worst
important
possible
quest.
path or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a Hinox over there. I'll deal with him later.
That's how I feel about some Bethesda games, where like I miss out on something that's like really helpful or like really cool, where someone will be like, "Oh, you didn't like betray David to get the fucking big fuck off gun," and I'm like, "No, like it wasn't even that direction." But also like I just don't play people like there's like stuff in Bethesda games I miss out on because I'm not enough of an asshole.
Yeah. Do
And like,
you?
you know, people generally can be, and I'm like, well, fuck, I kind of wish I was now, so I could have seen that cool thing.
Yeah, I generally don't do like renegade run type deals. Um, and I tried it like I the most renegade I did like an actual renegade run in Mass Effect.
Right.
But it didn't feel fun to me being mean to people. Having
Yeah,
people
it's not like
mad
my
at me
default
in the
mode.
game. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like my default mode. Like generally, like some games, like from soft games, like there's obviously like a kind of a path where you kind of want to keep it consistent. And like I will do some like selfish things in those games, but I don't do it. I feel like a lot more people will just do whatever is the most convenient for them immediately, which like makes sense. But like I just don't do it enough, so like I don't do the stuff that might like generally like close off one pathway or like will upset someone's feathers or whatever,
Ooh.
and I don't get that.
Yes, as I am going to avoid getting struck by lightning, we are going to call this a stream. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for hanging out. I know it was kind of a slow night, but I appreciate everyone who hung out. Reminder up top, QR code. We are raising money for One Up on Cancer. Live stream in
That wasn't it.
2 weeks. The 14th. We'll be raising some money and giving some prizes away and playing some games, and hope you all join us. Have a good night,
Yeah.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.